Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors. My name is Chris, and it is a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Westlake Village, California. And again, I hope you all had an amazing holiday weekend. And we do have lots to talk about today as Bitcoin has put in the biggest downside single candle move in one day. Not the biggest move in percentages, though. And so what are we going to put the focus on today? On Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano, and we will touch base on traditional markets and a little bit in silver and gold. And again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and I always say don't invest more than you can afford to lose. And you can find an investor guide at bitcoinadvisors.com, a link found in the description below. And let us jump right into our underlying market dynamics here. I do want to put the start us off with the Bitcoin dominance here, which is hovering at about 41.5, hovering steady there. The Fear and Greed Index, which is coming in at a 47 today, so knocked back from a 79 yesterday. People are more or less neutral, and the global leverage ratios are still very high right now, which did very likely produce that dump yesterday. We saw open interest take a major leg down from 12 billion to 9 billion, which is probably insightful that we had a washout. And just a little bit of news today. You had Coinbase CEO revealed they are going to be getting sued by the SEC over their farming and stable coins, and I don't know how that's going to do for Coinbase share prices, but it sounds like he wanted to be open and honest about it. So back into the price action charts themselves, and we had a huge red candle yesterday. That, to give an idea, was call it an 17% correction in one day. And I think it's a good time to point out these moves can happen very quickly. So it's important you have conviction on the projects that you're investing in, conviction on your long-term price targets. So these washouts don't cause you to panic sell and just, give your coins away at a loss. However, on the other side, you may want to consider an exit strategy. So Bitcoin did confirm a lower low on the daily time frame, closing just below 37,000 here at 46,700. And it's more or less easy to see on our line chart here. You can see those were the last lows, and we did close a lower low yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and throw those candles back on. And so we closed on lower lows, and what I'd be looking for here now is another lower high in the making. And where would I be looking for that to occur? Somewhere around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement and the 618. So how would we measure this out? We're going to go ahead and grab the fib tool and measure it from wick to wick. And what you will see here is the 618 is coming in at 49,400, and the 0.5 is coming out 48,375. So somewhere around that level, the 0.5 of the 618, I would expect we put in a lower high here, and I would be looking to trade confidently to the downside if that does happen. However, we could confirm a bear trap, I would say, with any kind of a daily closure above, call it 49,500. And that would be the way to go ahead and confirm a bear trap. On the short term end, we did see BBBWP is getting, fairly extended above our last two max reads at almost, actually our last one at an 88. We are currently sitting at an 89%. And I would expect, a bounce over the next, a bounce from here. And it looks like what we're getting right now. And overall, I would just expect a bounce first and then resolution over the next few days. It's not going to happen in one day or just overnight. And the only way to confirm, again, the bear trap is a daily closure back above 49,500, which is coming in right here at, yeah, 49,500. So, and realistically, when you look at the monthly closures we just had, you know, I do hesitate slightly to get full on bearish. If you take a look at the monthly closures, which when you know, monthly closures are the, you know, much stronger reads for technicals. So the higher the time frame, the stronger the move. And we did have this monthly closure here, which looked very bullish and attest to the red 10 simple. And you can see this going back. Let's see if we can go back on. Let's get it on a chart that you can see it a little more easily. But basically what I am saying here is on the monthly, Bitcoin does like to wick off this red 10 simple in long-term bullish markets. So, you know, going back in this 11-year history, where can we see? Well, we saw a wick off there. That was, well, what do you know? Back in September. Another wick off here with a big bounce in these bullish markets. Gosh, if I could only make the charts easy to see. Come on. Where do we wick off? Here. There's one. Here. It's funny is they happen all around September. These touches down on the monthly to that red 10 simple. And again, you know, going back here, that was in April, but big bounces off that red 10 simple. So a little hopium there. So yeah, right now this does look par for the course. We did test the red 10 simple. And if you look at the long-term bull markets, Bitcoin does like to base off this red 10 simple. Now, that's over its 11-year history. However, any sort of weakness on the daily in this region, around 49,500, any sort of weakness, I'm happy to get bearish, and I would expect a full breakdown over the next, not over the next week, but sometime in October. And here is something to give a little more hope to people. And I'll put it on the weekly and take off all of our major moving averages and just leave the 21. And this has become a little bit of a meme of the market, but we'll go ahead and take a look at. And what we do see in our long-term bullish markets on the weekly time frame, as long as Bitcoin is closing above the yellow 21 and it has a positive slope, which I would say that is slightly positive. Those have been our long-term trending bull markets, and a test of the 21 has been nothing but completely fine. Where did we get this one? Back, that was August 31st of 2020, May of 2020. Where else did we get a test? I would say that, you know, again, we're closing above the 21, good. Closing below, bad. Okay, here we got a perfect test of that 21, and what happened from $2,000 to $20,000. Another test, again, we're closing above. This move went from $600 and, you know, we marched it. Yeah, that continued to drive. You can see these tests along the 21 during that last major bull market. So as long as we are, you know, again, above the 21 on the weekly, generally good. So just to give people a little hope out there when there is a lot of fear, you know, you want to look at both sides of the equation. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw back on our major moving averages here. The green 55, the blue 89, the purple 200, blue 377, the red 10 simple, and the white 200 simple. And what I will say is, let's just jump in and look at Solana. Just closed a 5-day candle above the topside Bollinger Band, and we just did get a test down, which, you know, again, I wouldn't say that's bearish at all, looking relatively bullish. And as long as Solana is closing dailies, you know, above 140, it's still going to be making higher lows on the daily time frame. And if we did want to take a little fib retracement here to see what I'd be looking for to identify the bear trap, which would be any kind of a daily closure above 173. That is the 618 fib retracement on that last massive candle that got wicked on the daily time frame. So Solana, we do want to see a daily closure above 170, call it 173 today, and I'd be looking for some more upside. Then I would throw on Ethereum. Ethereum still closing higher lows on the daily time frame, and here's what Ethereum looks like. Higher lows on the daily, and I'll just again point out the weekly and the bi-monthly. The weekly is still, we had new highs, higher lows, and the monthly, looks like it still wants to close above the topside cylinder band, getting a little bit of a backfill. That is normal. So what's happening with Bitcoin breaking down? You would expect a lot of these altcoins to be getting hit harder. Also, I think a signal of a possible bear trap. So again, for a major macro top right now, if we, what we would expect is these altcoins be getting hit a lot harder, yet some of them, they're holding up rather strong, like FTT, Hex, and Algo, making some new all-time highs, Solana and Cardano holding it up. So Bitcoin, again, closing on the daily time frame. We did get lower lows on the daily time frame. That's the only place we got it. And that, again, could be a bear trap, but only one way to find out. Keep following the line. Keep following along, like and subscribe to this channel, and you'll get all the updated insight on crypto price action as soon as possible. Let's check in on Cardano. And Cardano, I'd say be looking at on lower high watch, the same thing there. And the way we do that, we just pull out that Fibonacci retracement tool again, going wick to wick. And where would I measure this? So look, we're already testing the 0.5, and then you got the 618 at 267. So any kind of a daily closure back above 267, I would say bear trap. Short term, if we want to look at our targets, the 4 hour on a wick basis, if we get a wick above 256, I'd be looking for some continuation up to that 267 mark. And then on the downside, just a closure, a 4 hour closure below 235, and I would look for a re-swipe of the lows here, maybe back down to around 218, somewhere in that region. So finally, to wrap this up, let's take a look at traditional markets, which we are seeing a bit of a pullback here, but again, basing off the red 10 simple on the daily for NASDAQ, and S&P did get a closure below, but just testing this 21-day, and typically, we just get a test there, and the market just goes up, and just keeps going up, and then we got, so that was NASDAQ, Dow, and, I'm sorry, that was NASDAQ and S&P, and the Dow Jones here. Again, I mean, this thing has been a parabolic rally going on for some time, making higher lows on the daily time frame and higher highs. I would stick with the trend, and also that could be supportive of our bear trap analysis on Bitcoin. So let's, again, just, wrap this up with so traditional markets still looking fairly bullish. The dollar is popping up here slightly, but has been coming down. It's at 92. And gold and silver. So gold does look like it wants to take a leg back down to about 1750. Any kind of a daily closure below the 0.5. You can see we did come test the 618 and getting rejected, coming back down, probably, re-swipe the lows here at 1750. And silver again, it's been ranging here between, call it $20 and 28 to the upside. It does look like we may want to come retest the lows at about 23. But again, any of these ranges broken to the upside or the downside are going to produce a rather large move. And I would be angled for metals at some point over the next 6 months or a year to take another leg to the upside with all the money printing that has been going on. Lastly, I guess we'll wrap it up here with Bitcoin. Again, kind of reiterate the levels that we have identified for a bear trap and a bull trap. Forgive me here. So again, looks like we're getting a little bit of a bounce almost, but sideways and bounce up. You know, if we show any kind of weakness here between, you know, at 49,500 or 48.5, I would be trading confidently to the downside because simply we'll have a trend reversal on the daily time frame. So very, very interesting. Let's keep a close eye on these markets, and we'll catch up with you in the next day or two. Hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Take care, and I'll be signing out.